Just a quick video on a World's Strongest Man update. And at the moment, there's two things I want to talk about. One thing is that I'll start with the positive stuff. I think World's Strongest Man has really got it right this year with a couple of their events, looking at incorporating medleys and more movement and speed and power into the events again. It's really good to see that World's Strongest Man is still incorporating events that gives lighter guys a shot at winning the events, because at the end of the day, it's about who is the strongest in the in a variety of ways, in the most different kinds of ways. Like, it's about power, it's about strength, endurance, it's about a whole heap of different kinds of strength, not just static strength. And we don't want to see the athletes just doing max log lifts, max deadlifts, max lifts on every event, because that's what the Arnold's for. If you want to see like absolute pure strength, you really go to Arnold. So I think it's awesome that World's Strongest Man this year have a great event selection, which really gives everyone a shot. It looks like it's going to be one of the closest World's Strongest Man competitions in quite a long time. And we've seen it. We've seen Hafthor and we've seen Brian Shaw and the bigger, heavier dudes who, really carrying massive amounts of muscle and weight in general. We've seen them being beaten in the events by guys like Kilikowski and Lises and Stoltman. And I think that's just really fantastic. It makes for a really exciting competition. I can't wait to see the final production and see how close it is in these events, because it looks like it's going to be a really, really close finish to this year's World's Strongest Man. The second thing I really want to say in this video is that it's really disappointing that Alexei Novikov did not qualify, and they've really got to change this, because the top two should just qualify. It doesn't make any sense, and we've seen it here. This is the worst case scenario where an athlete like Alexei has absolutely smashed it in every event. He's only been beaten by Hafthor and or was it Brian Shaw? Anyway, he's only been beaten by one other, really strong veteran who's been on the circuit for many years. And he's had to, despite being 7 points ahead of the next athlete, he's had to battle it out. He's lost to him and he's lost his spot. So I think that's really wrong, and ultimately it should just be the top two that go through. And I think a lot of people are going to agree with that. There's been a lot of people saying the same thing. And I really don't understand what the whole idea of second and third battling it out is, because you can really just rig the system. You can go for third, you can not even bother trying to get second if you really want, and it's just rewarding whoever's best at one event, and it's putting everything. It's an all or nothing approach. It means that, if you're really good at that one event, you can go through. So I totally don't agree with that at all, and I think that's got to change. And the other thing is, I think the organisation of strongman competitions in general really needs to improve, especially at World's Strongest Man. I know when I do amateur strongman competitions, it's often a problem. It's cost me positions in events before, because we've warmed up with really heavy weights that are heavier than the actual competition, or it's just been poorly organised, and that's affected me in my competitions before. But this is World's Strongest Man. This is not an amateur competition. It should be organised really well. They shouldn't be doing a yoke in the heats that's too heavy. All of those sorts of things should be, sorted out and organised really well. And there should never be any major issues with things like that for a competition of such a high level that's supposed to be, so professional. So some big positives and some big negatives about this year's World's Strongest Man, and we're all looking forward to seeing the final result. Let me know if you agree or you disagree, and let's hope that it's really, really entertaining World's Strongest Man this year, and the strongest man wins.